True Train 88. This ain't no ordinary ride. We roll with legacy, love, and fire in our bones. Let's go. True Train 88. This ain't no ordinary ride. We roll with legacy, love, and fire in our bones. Let's go. Let's go. Boots on the ground, banjo in my hand. True Train rolling through this promised land. Chief Mike lit the torch, now sheepdog lead. Matriarch's grace, yeah, that's all we need. Fiddle crying like a spirit in the wind. Bass thumping like the truth setting in. We don't follow trends, we follow the flame. True Train 88, remember the name. True Train 88, rolling through the night, guided by the chief. We're rising to the light, with the matriarch's grace. We stand as one. The power of the sheepdog's love, our rising sun. OCO, we gather, hearts open wide. Gadoogie in motion, love as a guide. GVUE, we sing to the sky. Holy Hill is deep, joy never dies. Red cardinal flying, wings in the breeze. Banjo strumming like a prayer on his knees. You carry the promise, you carry the flame. In our rising tribe, we call your name. Wide old matriarch, for your sacred way. Your generosity lights our day. Your grace is the fire in our tribal dream. Your love flows strong in every stream. Trail, healing frequencies rise like steam. True Train 88, this ain't no dream. True Train 88, we ride with the flame. True Train 88, we rise in a name. GVUE, the journey goes on. In the power of love, we are never gone.
Welcome back to the Roar Room. Rawr. That's what Mickey likes to put in the chat first thing in the morning. She likes to wake up and roar.
Yes, she does. We also have hashtag roar on our shows. So, yeah, I like that one. I like the song too. Man, I was dancing. Hardly made it back into my chair. Glenda, that song, Lindia, that song is just amazing. It needs its own dance.
So today is 9/2/2025. Me and Barlow were talking backstage about the numbers, which 2 being 11, so, or a 1 and a 1, which would be a 9/11 type day. So it'd be 9/1/19 would be 2025. 9. The iPhone release date, we also were talking about that. Not that that's major breaking news, but the iPhone release date, what is it? The iPhone 17 is
I
coming
think it
out.
is the 17.
Yeah, the iPhone 7,
Wow.
the iPhone 17,000. It's like that's where we're going to be
Wow.
100 years from now. It'd be like the iPhone 1700 or something. But yeah, so the iPhone 17 comes out on 9/9/2025 equals 9. So you got 3 9s, or you could flip that and get 3 6s, or you put them all together and get the Google logo. But I
I
always,
didn't even think about the Google logo. Wow. Nice catch.
yeah, it's the
Wow.
Simon Says logo with the, remember the Simon Says,
Yep.
that little,
Yep.
you had to remember the little beeps or the lights, and then you go back. That's kind of what.
Yep.
Yeah. So I always look at the iPhone or certain release dates like that, and you look at the date, and it just they don't. It's not a coincidence, or maybe it is, but just wanted to point that out. So we got a few things we're going to talk about tonight. I want to welcome Miss Birdlove to the show, and Nadine. Thank you for joining us tonight and being here in support of what we do here. It feels good to have someone on the screen here while I'm presenting, so it doesn't feel like I'm talking to a wall. Because that's what it feels like when you're doing this, is you're just in a room looking at a TV talking to it. So
Right.
it
Right.
feels good to have a response, other humans, and we're not
Yes.
online typing back and forth. We can actually get to hear each other's voices, and like
Yeah.
or talk
Feedback
about.
is really important in this podcasting world.
Yeah,
So we know how to better, you know, bring to you your show and what you're interested in. So let us know in the comments what you're interested in, and you know, we do look at the comments.
Yeah, and I'll always help you. You know that.
yeah. Disrespect, respect isn't optional in the chat. So just keep the respect for each other in the chat. If you got a difference of opinion, or just learn how to express it in a different way, so that doesn't come across confrontational or like you're attacking somebody. Because sometimes people aren't really doing that, but others take it as that. But, so I'm saying that because I've had to correct myself so many times, and I've had to learn these lessons of how to communicate online. People take they're it's absent of emotion, so you're only reading what someone says. You don't know if they're smiling on the end of the phone or if they're pissed off on the
Right.
phone. So
That's so true.
yeah,
Yeah. Or what sort of circumstance that they're responding
right,
from, you know, in
and
their own life. Yeah. Always be kind, guys.
yeah,
You never know what somebody's battling with.
but sometimes you don't. I mean, I ain't saying sometimes you got to light off into somebody's ass, but you know, I'm just saying, don't make it a habit.
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about each other. What I'm talking about is, we punch up. We don't punch side, left or right. We punch up. We don't punch each other. So just keep that in mind.
Right.
Moving forward. Just we're not we're not the enemy of each other. We're all
No,
connected
not
in
at
some
all.
form of fashion, right? So today I want to get into, or tonight I want to get into a little bit for Scruffy Lou. She wanted me to go over the Baker Act. So I found a video that I'm going to bring tonight. We're going to go over the Baker Act, and I believe that's a law of Florida where people can call on you for like a mental health issues or whatever, and it's a red flag thing, and they could take your stuff.
Oh,
Especially-
goodness. That's
Mhm.
not good. Well, I'm glad that we're gonna talk about that. Is there a way
Yeah.
to protect yourself from having that happen to you?
Your Second Amendment.
Right. But just anybody could call and say you're unstable?
Yeah, that's what the red flags, what Pam Bondi was talking about. That's why they do these school shootings.
Wow. Wow. Well, I'm
Why
interested to
they?
see
That's why
that.
you know more about the shooter and his whole background and mental state than you do who trafficked children in this country and who the children were trafficked to. You don't know nothing about that, but you know about all the details of these shooters, right? So they're building a profile, they're building a thing, and they're going to start um, looking into people that have the. I mean, they're covering all. They're covering transgender shooters, MAGA shooters, left wing shooters. The shooters are all scattered. It doesn't matter. But every time there is a shooting, they always, oh, it's a leftist shooting. So they're missing the whole psychological operation that's taking place for future red flag laws. And because they are still, I think we're one of the last countries that still have our weapons, our firearms, and that's the only reason why everybody's not vaccinated.
Right.
Right. So
That is so true.
yeah, let me get into that real quick. Let's go to the Baker Act. But first, I was just setting up the show with that, but I want to cover also, what is this? Hold on one second. I want to cover um, some Bill Gates, Donald Trump, Operation Warp Speed. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And I want to go and get back and play some footage of Bill Gates predicting coronavirus in 2015, Anthony Fauci in 2017, Jeb Bush in 2016, on the debate stage with Donald Trump. So I'm saying all this to let everyone know that Bill Gates had a meeting with, according to the way they're playing this out, Bill Gates had a meeting with Donald Trump at the White House. 2 days later, 4 new COVID shots are on the shelves, and the other 3 are being pulled. From what I'm seeing, I'm gonna cover that. But the White House's stance, according to was it Kaylee? What's her name? Not Kaylee, but the new Chris White. Anyways,
Caroline,
Caroline Levitt.
something, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
According to her, everyone has free will to get whatever they want, and I agree. I mean, would you want someone to force you into doing something or not doing something or not? You know, you have free will, but however, that doesn't make it right and moral on their behalf, because that's still, even though they have free will, there's still consequences and repercussions for their actions, especially if you knowingly knew that this was taking place, and especially what was taking place in the hospitals, right, with the remdesivir, with the
Right.
breathing
And
machines.
that was hard to watch for sure.
Yeah. So a lot of shit took place, but guess what? It was all legal. That's what's even crazier.
Yeah.
But it's not lawful. It's not moral. But it's almost like these people were untouchable. Like if we did that, we'd be in a jail cell buried under it if we killed one person. These people have a body count like it's just crazy. 1 million plus Americans die a year in our hospitals due to malpractice. 400,000
Oh yeah,
a year.
that is true.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and also the big pharma, the medications with the side effects. If you have side effects, that means you've been poisoned. So you need to take your prescriptions back if you're having side effects from your prescriptions, and ask your doctor, why is he poisoning you? For profit. Get this ball
Yeah.
rolling. All right,
Yeah,
here we go. We're going to
that's-
go into, where's it at?
I didn't hide it.
So we're all on a journey and we all have a path, right? So the spiritual journey is the path towards truth, and caring enough about truth to seek it out and evolve in your consciousness through this conscious awareness that truth brings. The first initial awakening is brought about a catalyst that brings care to a certain level. The care manifests as wanting to know more about what is happening, what's going on from the state of not caring to caring is the beginning of our spiritual journey, the path towards the truth. So caring fans the little dormant flame and spark in each of us and allows us to grow. From a state of ignorance and apathy, care will revive and resurrect the dead condition of mind and heart. Care takes the dead, the unbegun, the uninitiated, and initiates, begins, awakens, arises, revives, resurrects onto the spiritual journey and path of truth to evolve in your consciousness. At times, care diminishes. At times, care diminishes, and so does the journey and path to seek truth. This enables ignorance and apathy to creep back in and kills action. So instead of courage and will, action is dead and in that grave, replaced by laziness and cowardliness. Anytime we think we are done the journey and the seeking or have learned enough, then we have chosen to stop along the path towards evolving consciousness. We have decided to camp out at a certain level of consciousness and be content not to climb higher the Jacob's ladder. This is going back in the grave, stepping off the path, stepping of the path and off the journey. There are only two mistakes one could make along the road to truth. And not going all the way and not starting. So you only got there's two mistakes, not going all the way and not starting. Stopping along the journey and not beginning the journey are two mistakes everyone makes towards evolving consciousness and finding solutions to our problems. The spiritual path towards truth leads to greater knowledge, care, courage, and will to act in the world and create the experience we want to be having instead of suffering we are currently manifesting. The journey and path is mostly, not fully, an inward journey within. Walk the path to understanding truth about ourselves will enable us to understand the truths about the world we live in and how we are creating it. You got to know thyself, self-knowledge, self-awakening. Self-realization is the biggest one. I'm going to repeat. Self-realization is the biggest one. Self-awareness, self-dominion, etc., right? Are the same goals on the quest or the journey and path towards evolving consciousness. To know ourselves, we must face ourselves in the mirror in honesty and self-respect and without fear of looking at the beauty and the horror, the light and the dark, the good and the bad within us and in the world around us. Looking at the shadow, the demon, the dark, the negative side of ourselves and the world can be hard to confront, and truth can be uncomfortable. But this discomfort is our compass that's telling us something is wrong. Fear, discomfort, and hurt can come with truth, but it will lead to healing for the better. Not facing the truth in fear and avoidance and denial brings more suffering. Recognizing and accepting our current condition is the only way forward. With that awareness, we can develop the care, the courage, and the will to choose to change ourselves away from those things we recognize to be against our betterment. So taking the negative shadow and transmuting it or purifying it as a phoenix is burned and is reborn, and its ashes, so shall we be reconstituted in a new form, reborn anew with the aspects of our being we do not want, and to have them removed, changed, healed, bettered, improved.
That's for going in and doing that reconciling before you go to bed at night, every night. That's really important every night to take a look and be like, okay, this happened, and just get it done with. Every day is a new day. that's how you can start out every day. Every day's a new day because you did the reconciling every night. That was that video that we watched the other day. That was really powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, let me play that one clip real quick. Self-realization, right?
The only way for a human being to escape competition is through authenticity. Because no one in this world can outdo you at being you.
Is somebody trying to outdo me being me? I don't know. I hope not, because I'm the best at it. Being myself. And I appreciate when everyone else is themselves as well. Authentic, real, raw, offensive sometimes, rough around the edges, the black sheep, the crazy one.
Check.
Check, 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 check.
You got me.
So I'm going to open up. We're going to go into the Baker Act. This is for Scruffy Lou right here. This show, this segment. I want to thank our sponsors at sheepdogspets.com. The Mushroom Ladies. They should be on here in a few days, I believe. I have to check the schedule. Put that across the bottom. But we're going to go. The Baker Act is a Florida law. Okay. Let me share a screen real quick because we're fixing to get into some. And I don't want people's emotions to get in. I want this to be a learning thing. So I'm not sharing this to attack any group of people. I'm just telling everybody to remove their emotions from it because it's probably going to get a little choppy here in a minute. But I want it to focus on the message and what we're trying to learn so that we can fix it and stop that from taking place, and especially on our elderly. But this is the Baker Act. The Baker Act is a Florida law. It's a Florida Mental Health Act that allows for, and this targets our veterans. Okay, that's why they want to know, they have all of our medical records. They want to deem us all mentally ill so that we can't carry firearms. That's how they're going to disarm everybody, and that's why the sheriff here in Tarrant County, Texas, said that 70% of the jail population has a mental illness. Well, that's crazy. Maybe they shouldn't be in there. Maybe they needed help, not a jail cell. So since you identified that it was a mental health issue, and maybe there's no crime committed but to themselves, then you're admitting that these people the jail cells ain't the answer for people that have mental health issues, and especially our veterans and our homeless. Right. So it's just a spiritual issue. That's it. And they need to be. So we're filling the prison system, which is based all on profit, with people with mental health issues. And now we're going to set up. Pam Bondi is going to do the red flag laws, and Trump green lighted it. Remember the conversation, or do I need to play that video that Trump and Pam Bondi talking about no due process, just take their guns? I don't need to play that again, do I? Everybody's seen that? Okay, so that's what I'm talking about here. It's all coming in to play, and so the Baker Act is a Florida law, Florida Mental Health Act, that allows for individuals who have a mental illness and pose a danger to themselves or others, or are unable to care for themselves, to be subjected to emergency psychiatric evaluation and treatment. It can involve a voluntary admission where a person 18 or older, or a parent or a minor applies for services, or an involuntary process based on a petition alleging criteria for examinations have been met. The process provides a temporary hold, typically up to 72 hours, for a mental health assessment to determine if continued care is needed. The purpose of the Baker Act is to provide, according to this, immediate mental health evaluation and treatment for individuals to ensure safety and well-being by preventing harm to themselves or others, to give a person a temporary period to receive assessment and address a mental health crisis, criteria for involuntary examination, an individual may be taken into custody for involuntary examination under the Baker Act if due to a mental illness they have refused a mental health examination or are unable to decide if one is necessary or are unlikely to care for themselves, leading to substantial harm to their well-being. They pose a serious threat to themselves or others without proper care or treatment. How this process works: the initiation, a person can voluntarily admit themselves to a facility for involuntary action. A petition is filed by someone with firsthand knowledge of the situation. So there you go. Someone else can report you. Legal review. A judge reviews the petition to determine if the criteria for involuntary examinations have been met. You can have a temporary hold. If the petition is granted, a PIC order may be issued, and law enforcement or healthcare professionals can place the person on a temporary hold, typically up to 72 hours. So you got an evaluation and treatment during the hold, and a comprehensive mental health evaluation is conducted to assess the person's condition and needs. Next steps: the evaluation determines if further treatment, either voluntarily or involuntarily, is required. Key considerations: voluntarily is involuntarily. It says voluntary versus involuntary. A person can voluntarily apply for services or be placed on an involuntary hold if they met the criteria. Okay, you got confidentiality. Information related to the Baker Act proceedings is kept confidential, according to them. Legal framework: the Baker Act is a Florida state statute. Here's your statutes. Most states have laws for involuntary mental health commitments. Commitments, though criteria varies by each state. So you might want to look into yours in your state. This is just Florida. We're doing this for Scruffy today. So we're going to go with, let me pull up the next video here. And like I said, this targets the veterans community the most. I'm fixing to play a video here to prove it. All right, let me get this set up real quick with the screen. Okay, looking good. Looking good. All right, this is coming from Flex Your Freedoms on YouTube. Go check him out. He's an Army vet. He does First Amendment audits, and he fights for the veterans' rights, and he fights, and he's a pedophile hunter, and many, many, many other things. Anyone corrupt in his community, he's going to snip you out. But so here's where the Baker Act comes into play here. Corrupt cops target disabled veteran. For this one here.
Today, I'm going to set the funny videos to the side and share with you a story of absolute terror, corruption, and the exact scenario our forefathers warned us of. We dive down to Pinellas County, Florida, where a fellow disabled veteran has been targeted, attacked, jailed, and even had his and his young daughter's lives almost taken away. We must never forget that evil people will always flock to positions.
Sheepdog, did the sound just go off for me, or?
Yeah, you lost sound, Sheepdog. There you go.
Okay, hold on. Let me redo this real quick. We'll start over. It's not echoing, is it, as it's playing?
No echo. The sound just diminished. Yeah.
Here we go.
Today, I'm going to set the funny videos to the side and share with you a story of absolute terror, corruption, in the exact scenario our forefathers warned us of. We dive down to Pinellas County, Florida, where a fellow disabled veteran has been targeted, attacked, jailed, and even had his and his young daughter's lives almost taken away. We must never forget that evil people will always flock to positions of power, and the easiest route is becoming a law enforcement officer. These corrupt boys in blue despise veterans who actually honor their oath, the same oath that every single officer swears to protect, yet very few seem to do so. What I'm going to share with you all is still ongoing, and he needs all of our help and support. I'll have his channel link pinned in the comment in the description.
Pinellas County Sheriff's Office attacked my daughter and I while we were just enjoying a day at the pool for no reason other than to desperately try to silence me before I could report their misconduct. These deputies were caught on camera shoving a gun in my 5-year-old daughter's face for no reason, and they can't seem to back up why they were there now that this has occurred and they know they were caught on camera. The video evidence is damning enough against these guys, but only the worst bootlickers on earth at this point can really try and justify anything that they did. The common questions I get are, what did you do to bring the cops there? So let's start with that one. I didn't do anything. Everything was kicked off by fraudulent petitions for Baker Act mental health evaluations, and the cops acted on them like idiots, and then it blew up in their face, and they created their own chain of misconduct attached to my ex-wife's actions. So there was no crime ever committed, no crime ever suspected, and no crime that I was ever charged with at all. And that was not due to lack of trying either. After this raid was completed, I was cuffed and detained, and they started to coerce me with other unsavory methods, let's call it torture. And then they broke into my home using a fraudulent warrant. That is proven due to proof of service, timeline issues, and the fact that I was never even served a red flag order in the first place. There was no reason for me to be considered a suspected felon, and for them.
Did you hear that? Red flag order. Look into Pam Bondi. Where Pam Bondi come from? You might want to look into that. Florida.
To enter my home. They found the weapons, so why wasn't I charged? Because it was a criminal operation to begin with. This is one of the first glaring problems. Baker Acts are supposed to be least restrictive measures, non-violent in nature. Notice how the third man in the stack is walking up and shushing my daughter as he's walking up ready to point a weapon at my head. But he's walking up with the weapon at the low ready the entire time, intending to use it. Next, we'll notice that that same man is now brandishing the firearm, fully extended, pointing it right at the back of my head with my daughter in the line of fire. Look directly above you, though. That is the timestamp from their own documentation showing that the sheriff's office never received this until 5/18, and I was already locked in the back of that hot cop car for 30 minutes at that point. Notice how the one that was ready to go with the weapon is now putting it back in his holster because there's no weapon to be seen, there's no reason to be provoking deadly force and escalating in that manner. But his friends are already battering me upside the head, grabbing at me, ripping at my hair, and pulling at me without ever showcasing a court order of any sort that shows they had authority to be there. Notice how in the video, once it starts playing again, that the guy in the gray with the tactical vest on and the backwards baseball cap, Mr. Cool Guy, is basically jumping over my daughter. This entire situation shows reckless disregard for me and my child's safety, and I would say this crosses into the territory of reckless child endangerment 100%. If this was a regular person and not a cop doing this, they would be prosecuted instantly.
All right. Right here, when the child is running to save her dad, they're doing this in front of a 5-year-old little girl. If you're disconnected, you don't need to be wearing that badge and carrying that gun, especially when you're around children. And you need to do a little bit more investigating before you just run up on somebody like they're a terrorist. That's a veteran right there. And he needs to be treated with respect. First and foremost, like you would want to be treated with respect, right? So in order to get respect, you're going to have to see it first, right? We're not seeing it. And this is an example of it in Florida. Here, we got it. He's not resisting. Here comes the child. The cop grabs her. This is traumatic. This is trauma that this child is going to remember for the rest of her lives. For what? A false report? The Baker Act? Somebody, some asshole filed some paperwork telling them that this man was mentally unstable and wasn't able to take care of his child, but he's at the pool with his child being a good father.
Mind you, this was just the initial seizure. Their behavior afterwards, once they had me in the car, was infinitely worse. So first things first, let's talk about the premeditation and surveillance. These guys, I think, accidentally leaked a surveillance report and the CAD logs for it, showing that there was 12 detectives and deputies surveilling me and my daughter for some reason, even though there was no crime suspected, no warrants ever produced, at least before they did this stuff. But there was no reason for them to be doing this. And there's no legitimate reason why a person that's being Baker acted or pulled in for an emergency mental health evaluation should be under surveillance. That kind of goes exactly against the idea that it's an urgent, exigent circumstance. If you can surveil me for a day leading up to the time that you hit us at the pool, it kind of shows that there's no pressing danger, because nothing happened in that 24-hour period that would have shown you I was neglectful to my child or that I was dangerous to myself or others, or else they would have moved. They didn't. They chose a specific time because it lined up with me exposing certain things on the internet. Now, second, let's go into the fact that the number 3 man in the stack that emerged from my apartment gym is carrying a loaded firearm at the low ready.
That's a psychopath.
A Baker Act is supposed to be least restrictive measures and falls under mental health law. There is absolutely zero reason possible why there would ever be deadly force authorized unless something really went wrong after proper service. But if you also look, they have no warrant, no order, no paperwork at all of any sort either. So they are simultaneously rising to deadly force by having firearms out, ready, and pointing at my head and my daughter. And then second, they have no legal paperwork of any sort to show that they have any authority to be there. Now, let's get into the fact that they don't even say a word before just attacking me and my daughter. That is not normal police procedure, and that's not how this is supposed to go. A Baker Act is a civil service situation where they're supposed to show you paperwork, let you read it, let you sign it to show that you actually received it, and then take you. None of this happened. The only logical response from these officers, if it wasn't a kidnapping or a crime in progress, would be to produce a warrant and slow down and back up and stop with the excessive force. But they didn't do that. They continued to escalate and escalate and escalate until they eventually tased me while soaking wet right in front of my daughter. But then they also never took any witness statements from the people at the pool. Most likely because they didn't want that on record. Now let's get into the fact that the officer that pointed the weapon directly at my head and in my daughter's face is the one that's also chasing her around the pool. That is so far against regulation, it is absolutely criminal, and it is. If he was the one that was going to be using force and escalating the situation, he should have been nowhere near the child. The first time that anybody other than myself and the police knew that there was this ultra violence that occurred at the pool was in the June 12th hearing where I hit them all sideways with it. So they solidified their stories, and then I put that video into evidence in a court hearing, and everybody started acting spooked. Everybody. Nobody from the police told anybody that this level of violence occurred. And then the real kicker that screwed these guys from a paperwork perspective is the time of service, the proof of service timeline. With every civil service that goes out, like a restraining order, a Baker Act, red flag laws, whatever, all of these things require signatures, they require service, and they require proof of that too, to show the court that the person actually has received this stuff and is actually under those orders. Without that happening, there's no legal authority for any of this to be occurring. With this entire raid, they had no legal paperwork on hand. Obviously, within the video, you can see it. But the paperwork wasn't even printed off and given to the sheriff until 5:18 p.m. This was a full 30 minutes after they attacked us at the pool. So how did they know to surveil me? How did they know to be set up at the pool? How was there all this premeditation and evidence that they were set up beforehand if they never were informed? This is all showing conspiracy between multiple agencies to silence Keith. It's the only reasonable explanation at this point. If these guys weren't caught on camera, they might have some plausible deniability for some of the things that happened here, but there's still enough paperwork fraud all over the place to put them away just on that. It would have just been a little bit harder. But as you can see in this video and all the things we just laid out, there's no chance that this wasn't a crime. There are too many laws that were broken, too many regulations that were just bypassed, and absolutely no attempt to show any legal authority by explaining why they were there, producing paperwork, calming down and de-escalating, nothing. They just attacked a disabled veteran right in front of his daughter and traumatized the hell out of her for no reason other than to silence me from reporting their misconduct to the FBI.
Oh.
For weeks leading up to this, I was attempting to get them to hold people accountable within their own department for prior misconduct. And once that was failing and I saw that they were going to be launching an attack, I started calling the FBI. As soon as I released information that was really going to potentially put people away, like paperwork fraud, document fraud within the VA, that's when it all started. Immediately after releasing a video about a falsified writs of habeas corpus within my VA medical record, they launched the attack within hours.
Now, I went through and watched all of the videos he has put out regarding this deep corruption in Pinellas County, and he dives much deeper into everything you've just witnessed. This is still ongoing, and he needs our help and support. Make sure to click his channel link that I provided in the description and comment section and make your voices heard. Until next time, nerds, Billy B, BCNN.
Yeah, you're a tyrant. Suck my dick. Okay, that's it. Yeah, right.
I've been looking for a way out. I'm sick of feeling like I'm way down. Stuck in the middle of a large crowd. I just gotta fight and climb my way and then break out.
There's Billy Butt News Network. That was a veteran covering a veteran story here in Florida. So now we see what the Baker Act is and how it can be abused. And what we're seeing here is it looks like the police department just used that as an excuse. And that's why they just walked up on him. There was no surveillance. They knew where he lived. The only surveillance maybe would have been just before they walked up on him, right?
Well,
5 deep.
the cameras at the pool, it looks like, captured that scene, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that speaks for itself,
Wow.
right? I don't have to
Yes.
put my own 2 cents in. But I just want to, I don't want people to get in their emotions or upset or pissed off or anything like that. I mean, that's okay, but I want it to be a learning. This is a learning so we can change it. Repeal the Baker Act. It's being abused.
Yes.
And it's going to be used against the people to disarm them. All they got to say is you're mentally ill for 72 hours, hold you. And Trump said, no due process. Just take them, he said, sitting right next to Pam Bondi.
Wow.
So you might want to listen, pay attention. Pam Bondi was the attorney general in Florida. Also, which comes into play with Epstein as well. So we covered the Baker Act. Let me go to this. Let me show this on the screen real quick. But this was abused, and also this Baker Act was used on somebody I know in Florida, and money was taken, all kinds of stuff. Well, she lost everything. So it, you know, there's some crooked people out here, man, and all they got to do is say that they witnessed you, whatever, have you committed for a 72-hour evaluation, and then boom, you're flagged, red flag. Now you can't get any weapons or anything like that. You have to go look into the red flag laws and stuff like that. And that's a Pam Bondi thing. So we're going to go, here it is right here. This is what he's talking about with the Baker Act. I'm going to share this out. Florida Department of Children and Families. I'll share this link. You got mobile response teams, first responder, resiliency, apparently, Florida opioid settlement, mobile response teams, other directions and links. Okay. So we'll share this out. News and events, latest news. Commission on Mental Health and Substance Use Disorder. So today they had a meeting, Commission on Mental Health and Substance Use Disorder, full commission at 9 to 4 p.m. The Commission on Mental Health and Substance Use Disorder is meeting in accordance with Section 39.9086. Florida statute. Discussion topics will include the status of Florida's behavioral health system of care and opportunities to further examine the current methods of providing mental health and substance use services in the state. So check that out. All right, next up. Yeah, that's crazy how they when you start doing an investigation and telling them to hold themselves accountable, they come after you. There's something wrong with that. When a veteran addresses the people that are supposed to be working for him and they in return attack their boss, you need to be fired. You'd be fired, wouldn't you? Yeah, at any other job. The people are your boss. And when they start investigating and digging up corruption within your departments and you choose to ignore it, then there's a problem. And then when you turn around and attack a man sitting at a pool with his daughter for no reason, because he wants accountability and trying to better his community there in Florida, and he gets attacked, that's a problem. So you hear a lot about back the blue until it happens to you. We ain't no bootlickers around here. Look at no boots.
The full securitization process of a case. So the first thing that happens is the debt collector, aka the police officer, gives a presentment either in form of a traffic ticket or makes an arrest. But the police officers are usually the ones that start it, right? Either that or it's the information of a referral to the district attorney. Then once that referral is made, whether it's a police report or an outside party to the district attorney will go around and will present an indictment to the grand jury in a felony case. And then they'll come back and endorse the indictment saying that there is probable cause to charge this person with a felony. That initial indictment that is signed by the grand jury, that is a financial instrument that funds, or it doesn't fund it, it actually creates a debt inside of the constructed trust, which your court case is. When they lodge that indictment into the case, they're literally creating a trust because you have a debt instrument, which is the indictment. Every single court case is tied to a certain amount of money in terms of the penalty. That's why they're called penal codes. It's penal sums. There's a penalty that you pay salt penal, so that they're all connected to a dollar amount. Certain jurisdictions, you can find out what those penal values are, those penal sums. Others you can't. But there are sums behind, usually it's $2 million a charge. That's pretty standard.
All right. So we see how that can be weaponized against us, right? There's a financial incentive to go around arresting people or charging them with felonies. Surely there can't be no corruption in that. Surely y'all are really just seeking justice and not the paycheck that comes with it when you start running around slave catching, putting people in those slave catching, putting handcuffs on them, same handcuffs you used in the 1800s to catch slaves. And then you're doing it for profit. So it's not just the medical industry killing for profit. It's our law enforcement as well, the courts, et cetera, et cetera. So that is from the 903 on TikTok. I believe we shared this. the.got.the903. I think he had to get another channel. His channel, somebody did something with his channel or something like that. I can't recall what it was, but you got the haters out there, Again, this is a Marine Corps veteran. So tonight we're back to back. All right, so we're going to go to the next thing up is interesting right here. We'll talk about this real quick. Breaking up to 600 military lawyers have just been authorized to serve as immigration judges in an effort to speed up mass deportations, per the Pentagon. Let's go. They're all going back. Dude, if you think this is about immigration, you're crazy. Nick Sorter, right-wing propagandist. Everything isn't what it seems. And especially this, Operation Warp Speed, DOD, the Pentagon, the same people that told you that vaccines are totally safe and effective and pushed the vaccines on the people, shut down the country. No testing, at least 3 vaccines, Johnson & Johnson, such, whatever, Moderna. That same Pentagon is now going after the immigrants. And you're in support of that because you forgot who the enemy is, or you forgot what happened in 2021, 2022. Right? So we're going to get on that topic. We're going to go to Dr. Fauci, 2015. There we got it. So you want the military to run around picking up immigrants, but you're not calling for the arrest of Fauci, Jeb Bush, Bill Gates, anyone associated with Maxwell, Epstein, Anthony Weiner's laptop, Clinton's, 9/11 Benghazi, 9/11, JFK assassination, MLK assassination, RFK assassination, so on and so on, Gaddafi. We're not asking for no one to be held accountable for the war crimes in Iraq and Afghanistan that Israel lied to have us go into war for them. The veterans took an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America, not Israel or any foreign nation other than our own. That would be treason, wouldn't it? So here we got Dr. Fauci. This is 2017, but let's go to Bill Gates, 2015.
Today, the greatest risk of global catastrophe doesn't look like this. Instead, it looks like this. If anything,
what he's telling you is, you think it's going to be nukes, and it's not. It's going to be vaccination. You think it's going to look like this, the end times. You think it's just going to be bomb.
Today, the greatest risk of global catastrophe doesn't look like this. Instead, it looks like this. If anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, it's most likely to be a highly infectious virus rather than a war. Now, part of the reason for this is that we've invested a huge amount in nuclear deterrence, but we've actually invested very little in a system to stop an epidemic. We're not ready for the next epidemic.
So they want your money. They need that money, investment money, so they can create these vaccines for things that they're going to create in order to come up with the solution, right? Problem. They create the problem, they get the reaction, and then they say, hey, we got a solution.
And they have the patents for it.
And they have to what?
The patents for it. So we're not ready, but they have the patents for all these
Yeah. And they can't patent nature, so it's got to be something synthetic and not good for you.
Well, Sheepdog Dwindles here. The other reason they want your money is they want to be able to attract those that believe in this. Give us your money, support us, and then they have your data that you're in your financial data. Don't give in to them.
Right. Good input, Mike. Appreciate it. And Nadine.
The next epidemic to be dramatically more devastating than Ebola. The best lessons, I think, on how to get prepared are, again, what we do for war. We need a medical reserve corps, lots of people who've got the training and background who are ready to go with the expertise. And then we need to pair those medical people with the military, taking advantage of the military's ability to move fast, do logistics, and secure areas. We need to do simulations.
And they did simulations in 2019, right before the pandemic. And he's telling you right there, they're going to use the military, the Department of Defense, Operation Warp Speed, right?
Germ games, not war games, so that we see where the holes are. Finally, we need lots of advanced R&D in areas of vaccines and diagnostics. There are some big breakthroughs like the adeno-associated virus that could work very, very quickly. Now, I don't have an exact budget for what this would cost, but I'm quite sure it's very modest compared to the potential harm. The World Bank estimates that if we have a worldwide flu epidemic, global wealth will go down by over $3 trillion, and we'd have millions and millions of deaths. If we start now, we can be...
Why is he smiling when he says millions and millions of deaths? Why does he have a smirk coming into that scene? That's what it's really all about. It's not about the profit. It's depopulation, Agenda 2030, right? Bill Gates, Bill and Melinda Gates, John Hopkins, Event 201. All right, this is 4 years before that. Here we go. Trump wasn't even president. This is under Obama. I'm going to make that note. And we're going into the Trump presidency. So Trump knew, and everyone knew in 2015 that was paying attention to him. So in 2000, going into 2020 or 21, they had plenty of time from this point, 5 years, to have countered it or stopped it or did something in the back. I don't know. We're going to find out, though.
Be ready for the next epidemic. Thank you.
So it's always about getting ready. So I'm going through this timeline right here with these videos, and then I'm going to go into current at the White House recently. Okay, next up is, that was Bill Gates, 2015. Anthony Fauci. Oh, wait, no. Jeb Bush is next. Jeb Bush, 2016. So year after year, we're hearing it. Jeb Bush knew about the pandemic in 2016 on the debate stage in front of everybody. Everybody was watching.
Governor Bush. Thank you all very much. The next president is going to be confronted with an unforeseen challenge. That's almost certain. It could be a pandemic, a major natural disaster, or an attack on our country. Governor Bush. Thank you all very much. The next president is going to be confronted with an unforeseen challenge. That's almost certain. It could be a pandemic, a major natural disaster, or an attack on our country.
Or all the above. All right, so that's Jeb Bush, 2016. Now we're going to get Fauci, 2017.
There will be a surprise outbreak. Given, as you heard from the introduction, that I have been around for a while and have had the opportunity and the privilege and the pleasure of serving in 5 administrations, I thought I would bring that perspective to the topic today, is the issue of pandemic preparedness. And if there's one message that I want to leave with you today, based on my experience, and you'll see that in a moment, is that there is no question that there will be a challenge, the coming administration, in the arena of infectious diseases, both chronic infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that, but also there will be a surprise outbreak. And I hope by the end of my relatively short presentation, you will understand why the history of the last 32 years that I've been the director of NIAID will tell the next administration that there's no doubt in anyone's mind that they will be faced with the challenges that their predecessors were faced with. So for those who think that infectious diseases is gone, there's so many people who've made foolhardy statements, not knowing at the time that they made them. I usually show a quote from an old Surgeon General or an old pundit in infectious disease. So I thought I'd pull this one out from Sir Macfarlane Burnet, who was actually a Nobel Prize winning immunologist, who made the statement, as many did, to write about infectious diseases is almost to write of something that has passed into history. The most likely forecast about the future of infectious diseases is that it will be very dull, which is really kind of interesting coming from a semi-genius like Macfarlane Burnet. And I think what he did, and the mistake that so many people have made, is something that several of our panelists have already referred to. And that is a failure to look beyond our own borders in the issue of the globality of health issues. Not only things that are there that will come here, but surprises that we have. What are the lessons that we learned from HIV? One, you have to commit substantial financial and human resources. These things don't.
Keep in mind, he was testing on dogs, and then he was testing on the trafficked kids, and through the system of, what is it, where they call a kid when he's in foster care, CPS, stuff like that. He was testing on the children.
Well, here's one for you, Sheepdog. Who was the director of NIA when HIV came out?
Look no further.
Right. They and all things point back to them creating that as well.
Yeah, in the 80s, he was responsible for the AIDS epidemic.
They have been working on a mass depopulation for a century. And the last 50 years, that guy right there, Fauci, has been part of it.
Yeah. Yep. And Anthony Fauci, Tony Fauci, huh? All right. Yep. So he's got a body count that Hitler would be even jealous of. Honestly, so you're thinking the immigrants are the problem. This guy right here has got a body count, and according to the public, as of right now, he hasn't been arrested. But according to the PSYOP in the background and everything, they're saying they've already been taken out, which you can see the difference. But I see that in all of them, so you can see that people have been, or they're doubles or whatever the hell, something's going on. So I'm not going to deny that, but I just want to say that your focus is on immigration, when it should be on this, getting rid of this guy, the body count. This is your murderer, this is your rapist, this is your, you name it. Took a lot of lives.
Get addressed spontaneously by themselves. You have to enlist the best and the brightest investigators in both basic and clinical research. You have to involve the community, be it the gay community in the United States or the community in Africa and West.
The gay community don't even know that they're being targeted.
Africa when we dealt with Ebola, or the people in South America when we're dealing with Zika. You have to have cross-sector collaboration. You can't do it alone. The CDC can't do it alone. The NIH can't do it alone. You do it with all of us, with industry, with global organizations, with philanthropy and NGOs.
Oh, shit.
And you got to get the leaders and the policymakers involved. What is for sure that no matter what, history has told us definitively that it will happen, because infectious diseases, as I said 8 years ago in this article with David Warrens and Greg Fokers, that it is a perpetual challenge. It is not going to go away. So the thing we're extraordinarily confident about is that we are going to see this in the next few years. Thank you.
All right, so let's talk about history. This was 2017, exactly 100 years after the Spanish flu. And according to the reports, the mask is what killed most of them via bacterial pneumonia, and they knew that. That's why he was telling you to put on 2 to 3 masks. He was it was kind of like an IQ test. Right, so I'm going to keep moving. I got to be careful on that. Let's go to, because I just got YouTube back up. But this is on YouTube, so I'm good. This is Dr. Fauci predicted the pandemic under Trump in 2017. This is on Now This is Impact channel. They got about about nearly 5 million subscribers on this channel. This video has about 13,000 likes out of 330 million people. Only 8,000 comments and less than 1 million views. And there's 330 million people in this country. I'm not saying that they haven't seen it, but just you would think that. So here we go again. 600 military lawyers just been authorized to serve as immigration judges. Wink, wink. In an effort to speed up mass deportations per the Pentagon. We'll see. But if you think this is about immigration and then you show they're all going back, this is what the Native American tribes should have said to you when you came to the shores, right? Y'all are all going back. You can't stay here. So, but they didn't, because it wasn't in the Native Americans tribes' hearts to treat people like that, right? So that's what separates the spiritual from the real children of God from these invaders or people that forget how to respect each other and live and coexist and live in peace, right? Which is what we've had at one point in history, is thousands of years of peace that isn't being reported, that has been covered up, because they don't want y'all to know that we can do this just by exercising or practicing the approach to everything with peace and respect for as much as you can while you're fighting the enemy. Of course, not Dr. Fauci. You can disrespect him all you want, but they gave us free will, and that's what the White House says right here. We're going to go ahead and play that right quick, and then I'm going to go into what free will is. And I'm not talking about Free Willy, the movie. That was a joke.
Thanks so much for allowing.
I need that laugh button.
Back on the CDC, there was reporting that some of the initial problems between RFK and the CDC director stemmed from miscommunications or differences on vaccine policy. So I wonder if you could just say whether or not the president believes that the COVID vaccine should be available to and covered by insurance for all Americans, regardless of age and pre-existing conditions.
What I will tell you is that the FDA recently revoked the emergency use authorizations for 3 COVID vaccinations while simultaneously greenlighting 4 new COVID-19 vaccines with 2025.
Oh, wait. Okay, this is Thursday. Hold on. I just remembered. I'm skipping around the timeline. I'm going to get you to that video first. Let me go to, before we go into that, I got to cover this. 2 days before that, on a Tuesday, all right, we're just going to answer. What day did Trump meet with Bill Gates at the White House this week? What day did Caroline Leavitt announce 4 new COVID vaccines this week? So the answer for the first question is Trump met Bill Gates on Tuesday of last week. And then Caroline Leavitt announced the 4 new COVID vaccines on Thursday.
Da-da-dun, da-da-dun.
Da-da-da. This was just released by Bill Gates. He predicts another pandemic will come, and he's calling for the CDC and WHO to stay prepared while hoping for vaccine conspiracy theories to die down, damn it, because they're trying to get some more people. Shit. How can we get everybody to participate if you're causing distrust in something that, or if you're having people look into these things before they put them in their bodies? They don't want that. They want you to react on fear. Okay, here we go. But we're going to beat them to it.
We cut child to death in half since the turn of the century. And the main reason for that is vaccines. And we did save millions of lives during the COVID pandemic because of vaccines.
Oh, according to Bill Gates, they saved millions of lives. Do you think he's in the business for saving lives? Come on, man. Come on.
But if you said their reputation.
Hey, this is the computer guy, right? This is the computer guy, right? Microsoft? Or am I tripping? Now he's Dr. Bill Gates. The gates of hell.
It doesn't even look like the other picture.
Today.
Yeah.
Do what? Right? Yeah.
It doesn't even look the same.
There's he's not. This is all. This is either actor or CGI or et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Bill Gates was taken out in 2013.
It looks like somebody's Uncle Fred or something. You know?
This looks like kind of looks almost like Mr. Rogers with the sweater. It's the sweater is what gets the boomers and gets the older people. They like that kind of a look. There's a certain look, like he's wholesome or something, like Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Don't you want to be my neighbor?
She'd be my neighbor. Hello, neighbor. You're vaccinated?
Than ever, I would have said, "Are you kidding?" You know, people will see that this rotavirus vaccine, which is diarrhea or pneumococcus or pneumonia, you know, these are miracles, and we, managed to get these to all the children of the world. And so, instead of 10 million dying every year, we're below 5 million. So somebody with a kind of logical view, like I try to have, it is confounding that you have those conspiracy theories. I hope that dies down. The pandemic was a very unusual thing in terms of, the government wanting to stop the spread of it, and yet, how much.
Stop the spread of what? It was a simulated pandemic. And then it was ran on the mainstream media after Event 201.
Was that wise? We clearly kept schools closed longer than we should have. We were learning as we were going, and another pandemic.
They were learning as they were going. They didn't prepare for this or have a drill or simulate it at all. Just they were doing it all on the fly. Don't you believe him?
I think will come, and how smart are we going to be about having the CDC and WHO and the tools ready to go? I'm not sure we focused on preparation. Perhaps in the years ahead we'll get our act together.
Sorry, I had to put you through that, listening to that, but we want to go to Event 201 right here, and then we're going to go to Leavitt and discuss free will, because that's basically ultimately what it's all about. Is it right? No, but everyone has free will to make the decision if they want to take that or not, or anything or not, or if they want to go the synthetic route, or if they want to be go the authentic route, or if they want to wake up, or if they want to stay asleep. Everyone has free will. So here we have Event 201 pandemic exercise highlights reel. right? Event 201, I get all the segments are still on YouTube. You can go watch them. Segment 1, Segment 2, Segment 3, Segment 4, segment, et cetera, et cetera. So this is how we create phony crises. Here's a kind of a cartoonish example of what they did at Event 201.
I'd like to call to order this secret conclave of America's media empires. We're here to come up with the next phony baloney crisis to put America.
There you go, right? And then now you got your media coming in. That's what took place.
Americans back where they belong, in dark rooms, glued to their televisions, too terrified to skip the commercials.
Well, I think
NBC, you are here to listen and not speak. I think we should go with a good old-fashioned public health scare.
a new disease. No one's immune. It's like the summer of the shark, except instead of a shark, it's an epidemic. And instead of summer, it's all the time.
Now, I hate to be the guy who derails what everybody else loves.
He loves being that guy.
But, Janice, we do have standards. This can't be a made-up disease. The only moral thing to do is release a deadly virus into the general public.
We do have something we've been holding on to, but it hasn't been tested. Get over here, NBC.
Well, we certainly believe in testing, but Wow.
Oh, yeah. So we've got our deadly disease. Now we just have to blame it on something that's in every household, something that people are a little bit afraid of already. House cat flu is coming, people. The Center for Disease Disinformation predicts with some degree of probability that the house cat flu might spread in the following hypothetical outbreak pattern. So petter beware, that warm body on your lap just might be ready to destroy your tender victuals. Springfield.
Man, they put the cat in the bag. Look, the perfect storm. Wow, the storm is upon us. It's crazy, ain't it?
Travelers are advised to stay tuned for more information if they experience any of the following symptoms: mild thirst, occasional hunger, tiredness at night.
All right, here we go. All right, so now we're going to go to the Caroline Leavitt White House press briefing, and we're going to go over
Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love.
That's what played next. I don't know why. I'm trying to escape here from this screen. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go for the Caroline Leavitt. We're going to go over her response and cover free will.
Thanks so much, Caroline. Back on the CDC, there was reporting that some of the initial problems between RFK and the CDC director stemmed from miscommunications or differences on vaccine policy. So I wonder if you could just say whether or not the president believes that the COVID vaccine should be available to and covered by insurance for all Americans, regardless of age and pre-existing conditions.
What I will tell you is that the FDA recently revoked the emergency use authorizations for 3 COVID vaccinations while simultaneously greenlighting 4 new COVID-19 vaccines with 2025 and 2026 formulas. The reason for the revocation of that emergency use authorization is because obviously the COVID pandemic and the public health emergency is over. But just to correct the record, because there's been a lot of misinformation on this, the FDA's decision does not affect the availability of COVID vaccines for Americans who want them. We believe in individual choice. That's a promise both the president and the secretary have made, and it's a promise they have now delivered on.
There you go. So there's no more arguing over the Trump administration not pulling the vaccines. You have free will. Let's go to free will. We should all know that's common sense what free will is, right? But I'm still going to read about it. All right. Free will is the capacity for an individual to choose their actions independently. Free will is the capacity for an individual to choose their actions independently without being entirely compelled by prior events or external forces. So do they have free will if they're compelled by events or external forces, or are they being coerced? This philosophical concept is often understood as the ability to make how are they going to make decisions on whether they should or not if the campaign for big pharma is all over the mainstream media constantly. So this philosophical concept is often understood as the ability to make unconstrained choices from a range of possibilities, though it exists and nature are debated. The debate often centers on how free will is compatible or incompatible with determinism, the idea that all events are necessitated by prior causes. So we're going to talk about the key aspects of free will. You got independent choice, you got responsibility, and that's where you get to take responsibility, and you have conscious deliberation. So independent choice, free will, implies a person's decisions and actions originate from their own volition, not solely from external factors or predetermined outcomes. So the responsibility is the concept of free will is tied to moral and legal responsibility. If individuals have the ability to choose, they can be held accountable for their choices. Conscious deliberation, a more nuanced view of free will, involves the capacity to weigh options, to use intellect, and to make a rational decision, and exert control over actions, which distinguishes human freedom from animalistic desire. So a more nuanced view of free will involves the capacity to weigh options and use intellect to make a rational decision, and that's what this is all about. Is the more people that get educated and they start deciding whether it's worth it or not based on their research, then whatever happens after that is, it's only going to affect the individual. But if everyone wakes up or gets to a point where they start looking into things before they do stuff, then maybe that'll go away over time. People will stop depending so much on the fear and the stuff like that, and they'll start educating themselves, taking better care of themselves. But we know that some people do have to have, in extreme cases, these some vaccines, like if you get bit by a snake, you're going to need a venom, right? The anti-venom, right? So there's a positive as far as inserting something into your body that can possibly save it, right? Or losing a limb from a snake bite. So there's different scenarios from each person that has their own personal medical. That's between them and their doctor. But it shouldn't be the mainstream media running fear porn and simulations on them to get people in there to get vaccinated. That's a whole nother ballgame. That's war crimes, right? That's crimes against humanity. And people need to be held accountable. So let me get to this. Oh, hold on.
Title 42, 1983 is what gives us the right to sue them. Title 241 is conspiracy against rights, and so that's got to be 2 or more. And then 242 is deprivation of rights under color of law. Don't let them get away with this. That's right. We're in this position because we've all been lazy. So stop being lazy and start taking your rights seriously and your freedoms.
We will get to observe in this video the faces of politicians when they are publicly held accountable for the dystopian nightmare they forced us to endure. This is the last city council meeting for Dave Potter, who was voted out, and Bobby Richards, who is resigning. Jeff Barron, unfortunately, is going to remain, as is the city manager, Chip Rarig. That's right, council members of Carmel by the Sea, the people who bought your homes with their hard work are not going to allow you to relegate your extortion and fear-mongering to the dustbin of history or join in the celebration of a term well done. Remember those years when you all acted as though you sat on thrones and the people were your lowly serfs? How thrilling it must have been to have the opportunity to impose curfews on grown adults, close businesses we had taken years to build, and send your police departments to job sites to stop us from working so we could feed our families, while your gravy train of bloated taxpayer-funded salaries never missed a beat.
This is the guy also, I believe, that recommended giving the homeless people fentanyl in hopes that they would all kill themselves. That's this guy.
Have you ever stopped to think how unconscionable that was? We have, and we're never going to let you forget what you did back then, dear politicians, because those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And I know all of you Carmel by the Sea politicians were expecting a circle jerk of appreciation in the last city council meeting, so I'm terribly sorry that we the people had to remind you of the legacy you left your grandchildren with a send-off you earned and deserve.
They arrested them for being out on the beach during COVID. They were walking their dogs and stuff like that, and the cops tackled them and told them the beach was closed and COVID restrictions and et cetera, et cetera. Law-abiding citizens.
Wasn't that back when Fat Boy in New Jersey, wasn't he out there on the beach and they got everybody else off the beach, and then that governor, he was sitting on the beach in his lazy boy? The hell
Wasn't that Governor Crispy Chicken?
Oh, Camel Toe?
Fat Boy.
Crispy Chicken.
These people are
Christy.
so out of my mind anymore. He was just sitting there on the beach. Him and his family. Bud knows it, but I can't understand Puppy.
So, yeah, there was a lot of people doing. Remember Governor Gretchen Wilson? I think that's her name. From Michigan, her husband went fishing.
Yeah,
and
I
they
remember
said,
that.
And they said,
Whitmore,
"Oh, my wife's the governor."
Gretchen Whitmore. She looks like a witch.
Whitmore,
so
yeah.
I can't forget that name.
So I think I'm going to cover a couple more things. We're going to get into not much more because I want to let this two topics marinate and digest. I don't want information overload.
Oh, it's Chris Christie.
You're damn right you do.
Oh yeah, that's Mr. Moose Knuckle.
I don't know about that.
Why?
I don't
Because
wanna
it's
know.
your God-given.
What?
I said I don't know about that, and I don't want to know.
You can go. Yeah, I wouldn't go looking down that rabbit hole if I was you. You'll never unsee
You have the
it.
right to travel? You're damn right you do. Why? Because it's your God-given right to travel freely and unencumbered by any police officer. There are so many Supreme Court cases that prove that a state cannot turn a right into a privilege by offering a license or charging a fee for it. The only time you need a driver's license is if you are driving commercially or getting paid to drive or paid to deliver something. Donald Trump has mentioned that he's going to look into getting rid of the driver's license. Why? Because he knows that there's so many Supreme Court cases out there that say we don't need one. The driver's license is a contract that we were all coerced into signing, and that gives them the right to hold us accountable for their rules. When we got that driver's license, we agreed to follow their rules, codes, and statutes of the road. It's time we all surrender our driver's license if we are not driving commercially and stop consenting. Want to learn your rights and how to...
I want to give credit to the channel My Thoughts 778 on I'm sure you're following him, right? Let me click follow on this one too. But it's My Thoughts 778 channel. You can go if you want to learn more or hear more of his videos. I like to. These people are putting out some really good information. What's that? Oh, on TikTok. My Thoughts 778 on TikTok. The more you know, the more you grow.
Could you help me stand up anything? Stand up? Yeah. Thank you, bro. Ready? Yeah, 1, 2. Bless you, sir. Thank you. You okay? I'm okay. Thank you. Sure? Yeah, I'm good. Did you fall? Yeah.
Do you need help? Where's your car at?
I'm fine.
Hold on, stay right here. I'm gonna get you some help. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna go get security help. Stay right here. Come here.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Just step right here. Come on.
You're good. Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah, I'll come out here and get some security with you.
Why'd you help me?
God, help me help.
What's your name?
My name is Cody.
Oh, Zach, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hey, man, Scott, Cody, need help, man.
My friend's coming. I'm good, man. You got water?
I'll have a couple bucks when I come out here. I'm going to find my wedding ring. I can shut up there.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Bless you. I'll be right here, man. Thank you, Curtis. Curtis.
Just a couple bucks for you.
Why did you give me money? You don't even know me.
So, if there was something for you, I don't have to know. That's for God. I'm a blessed day, brother.
You just pawned your wedding ring?
Yeah.
How many years have you been married?
December 15th will be 13 years.
Happy early anniversary. What's the key to a happy marriage?
Happy wife, happy life.
Can you help me up?
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, thank you. How much did you get for the ring?
I got 140, roughly. Yeah, I'm trying to get the money now to finish paying for my light bill and everything, but I'm gonna be all right.
You believe in God?
All the time. That's why I helped you, because God told me to.
Can you take this?
Why?
I don't want to take your money, man.
No. Oh, you want to sit back down?
One second. Curtis, I'm not blind.
How many fingers I got?
2. Just trying to find the first time person that'd be nice to me. I got something for you, Curtis. $1,000 cash for you, Curtis. You're amazing, man. You go with your wedding ring back too, man.
My wife wanted me to play that for everybody tonight. Sometimes you slow down and pay attention to. You never know when you're being called to help somebody along your journey and along your path. And if you just walk past people without that human or connection or that caring or having compassion for others, then you're going to miss it. The opportunity to be a blessing or to be blessed by someone else along your journey. So that's all we got for right now. We're got natural law in action. We're going to do that tomorrow. Anybody else got anything they want to add? What? How far?
Sheepdog. We also have them.
Well, it's
We also have them. The mushroom ladies are on tomorrow with us.
Yep. Every other Wednesday. Yeah, we're back. Okay. That'll work. Yep. So tomorrow we'll be talking about our pets. Speaking of which, in the mail today we got the, what is it? The deer antler thing that they chew on. What is it?
Oh, That's some good stuff there, Sheep. You
Yeah, they're
puppies
all
will like that.
Yeah, I got that for my oldest. He was chewing on rocks and stuff like that. And I remember the mushroom ladies talking about that, and so we got that to try that out, see if that helps him out. But the other dogs really like it. So we also got to try the coffee for the first time today, the blueberry cinnamon crumble coffee. And
that
good.
stuff is the bomb, isn't it?
It's good. It's good. Hey, this would be if you're like a heavy coffee drinker, this probably wouldn't be. This is like when you get a good day to relax, but you can mix it with your other coffee as well. But it's really good. My wife loves it. Like that was the first.
It smells phenomenal when it's brewing.
Yeah, we do it cowboy style. But it tastes good. It does. Impressed with it. We also got the super sauce. We mixed that in some food today. They love that as well. I mean, we take one pouch and split it between a couple bowls or 3 bowls and just mix it in really, really good. And they just eat it right up like it. And that helps out with my oldest as well, Cocker Spaniel. But the other 2 are pretty healthy, but it's still, they still love it. So sheepdogspets.com. Check us out. Help support the show and help support the mushroom ladies as well. They're amazing people. It's not just the products that are amazing, but it's also the people with the passion that bring it to the people. So I really appreciate it. So we'll have that show tomorrow. We're going to do, so we did cats, we did horses, we did dogs, spirituals aspects. So I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow as far as that's concerned.
Chicken?
I guess since Gandalf will be on tomorrow with us, so it'll be a combined show. We'll do chickens tomorrow.
Okay, that sounds good. The spiritual aspect of chickens. Okay.
That's it, the spiritual aspect of chickens.
He's got a bunch of
He's got 30 plus chickens. He's getting about a half a dozen eggs a day.
Damn. Well,
He's got a side hustle now.
Amen to that.
he's slinging eggs out there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
So
what
it'll be a combined show tomorrow. It'll be good. It's gonna be a good show.
Awesome. So we'll take that day. We'll try to report on anything that may be of importance, but for the most part, we're going to be talking about our pets tomorrow. And
Here you go, Sheep. Cheating's got a good idea. He
What's
says,
that?
since Gandalf's on tomorrow, let's do donkeys instead of chickens.
They're mules.
They're mules, but the donkeys, mules, And then I do have a teaser for you, Miss Sheepdog, for Bird, and the rest of the people listening. I confirmed with Z today that we are going to do a frequent show within the next 5 days. So
awesome. I just heard about
the
that
guy
today.
that did the cover song "Earth to God" is he's huge in the frequency, so he's going to be on within the next 5 days. I was supposed to call him in the morning and set it up.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
He's putting some good stuff out on Facebook. You follow CE.
You also mentioned that he was also tuning his instruments according to certain frequencies as well when he plays music.
Yeah, he's converted and retuned all of his band's harmonics to 444.
Yeah.
Back to the original frequency. That's what they play. All of their concerts, all of their gigs, and it's in 444.
Awesome. So we can close out with Earth to God.
That'd be a good closing. You got it queued up. I know it won't take you but a minute.
Yeah. I got it uploaded. I just want to. It's over there to the right. If you look where the media assets are, you'll see all the videos I have ready to
Do you
play.
want us to cue it
So
up?
I really like that video he did. No, I got it. I'll just push play and when we close out.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta
I
do.
saw it in there. Awesome.
this,
Go
watch.
for it, Z.
Well, God bless you, beautiful people. This song goes out to Amanda and the family. Of course, Mike Penny, everybody's friend. Marcy even put a little stock car on a checkerboard, or on a little checkered flag over here. Earth to God, come in God. I know you're there, hearing our prayers wherever you are. We need you now. Send your love down. Take away the pain in your holy name. We ask this now. Yeah, we need your light, we need your love to heal the world you made. So save us now in our darkest hour with your amazing grace. Earth to God, come in God. We're holding on, but not for long. Push close, the Holy Ghost, but strong. Yeah, we need your light, we need your love to heal the world you made. So save us now in our darkest hour with your amazing grace. Earth to God, come in God. To God, come in God. Earth to God, come in God. Earth to God, come in God. We need your light, we need your love to heal the world you made. Save us now in our darkest hour with your amazing grace. Earth to God, come in God. Earth to God, come in God. God bless.